The distress signal wasn't meant for me. I knew that the moment it flickered across my console, fragmented, unstable, barely holding together like a dying heartbeat. Anyone pleased coordinates collapsing. Then static. I leaned back in my pilot's chair and stared at the map projected in front of me. The signal had come from the edge of a dead zone, an uncharted region of space where navigation systems failed and ships tended to disappear. Smart pilots didn't go there. I wasn't always a smart pilot. Probably a trap, I muttered. My ship's AI hummed softly in response. Likelihood, 63% hostile scenario, 27% environmental hazard, 10% legitimate distress. I exhaled slowly. 10% is still something. No one else was coming. No rescue ships. No patrols. No one even knew that region existed on most official maps. I hesitated, then set a course. Because sometimes 10% is enough. 2. Into the dead zone. The moment my ship crossed into the dead zone, everything changed. The stars dimmed. Not literally, but they felt distant, as if space itself had grown heavier. Navigation systems flickered. Signal interference increasing, the AI reported. Yeah, I can see that. The coordinates shifted constantly, like the source was drifting or being pulled. Great, I muttered, chasing a ghost. But then, I saw it. A ship, or what was left of one. It spun slowly through the void, its hull torn open in multiple places. Debris floated around it like a frozen explosion. Life signs, I asked. A pause. Then, single faint signature detected. One survivor. I felt my grip tighten on the controls. Docking approach. 3. The wreck. The airlock resisted at first, then gave way with a metallic groan. Inside, the ship was silent. Too silent. Emergency lights flickered weakly, casting long shadows across the corridor. I stepped in carefully, weapon drawn but lowered. Hello. I called out. No response. Just the hum of failing systems. The life sign was deeper inside. I followed it through narrow hallways, stepping over debris and broken panels. Something about the ship felt wrong. Not just damaged. Abandoned in a hurry. As if whatever happened here had been sudden, violent, and unexpected. Then I reached the source. And froze. 4. The girl in the shadows. She was lying against the far wall. Barely conscious. Her clothes were torn, stained with something darker than human blood. Her breathing was shallow. But what struck me most was how human she looked. Not alien. Not strange. Just a girl. Maybe in her early 20s. Long dark hair, pale skin, delicate features. If I had known better, I would have thought she was from Earth. Hey, I said softly, kneeling beside her. Her eyes flickered open. Not human. They glowed faintly. Silver. You came, she whispered. Yeah, I said. You called. A faint smile touched her lips. Good. Then she lost consciousness. 5. Getting her out. She was lighter than expected. Too light, like her body had already given up. Hand in there, I muttered, lifting her carefully. As I carried her back through the ship, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching. Not physically, but present. The dead zone pressed in around us. Uncomfortable. Heavy. The moment we reached my ship and sealed the airlock, I felt the pressure ease slightly. Medical scan, I ordered. The AI responded immediately, analyzing biology inconsistent with known human baseline. I frowned. Meaning? Subject is not human. I looked down at her. She looked human, but clearly, she wasn't. 6. Not what she seemed. She woke up hours later. I was sitting nearby, watching the monitors. Her eyes opened slowly. She looked around, disoriented. Then her gaze landed on me. You took me. Rescued you. I corrected. A faint smile. Yes. She tried to sit up. Failed. Easy, I said. You're not in great shape. I noticed. Her voice was soft, but there was something beneath it. Strength. Hidden. What's your name? I asked. She hesitated, then said, Lyra. Lyra. I repeated. I'm Kale. I know. That made me pause. You do. She looked at me calmly. I knew who would come. 7. The first warning. That should have been my first warning. But I ignored it. Because she looked fragile. Because she sounded tired. Because saving someone makes you want to believe they're harmless. How? I asked. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked past me, toward the viewport. The dead zone doesn't let signals escape, she said quietly. Yeah, I figured. And yet, you received mine. I frowned. Lucky, I guess. No, she said softly. Not luck. Her eyes met mine. I chose you. 8. Something isn't right. Over the next day, she recovered faster than expected. Too fast. Her wounds began to close. Her strength returned. Her presence changed. The fragile girl I had carried from the wreck slowly disappeared. In her place was someone else. Someone controlled, observant, dangerous. You're not just a survivor, I said one evening. She looked at me. No. So, what are you? A pause. Then, someone important. That's vague. It's necessary. I leaned back. I saved you. I think I deserve more than necessary. She studied me. Longer this time. Then sighed. You're right. 9. The truth begins. My name isn't Lyra, she said. I raised an eyebrow. Shocking. It's easier for your language. Try me. She hesitated, then spoke a name I couldn't pronounce. Yeah, I said. Lyra works. She almost smiled. I am what your kind would call a keystone. That doesn't help. I am central to my people's existence. I frowned. Central how? She looked at me, and for the first time, I saw it. Power, not physical. Something deeper. I am the one who keeps them alive. 10. The realization. It hit me slowly, then all at once. You're not just important, I said. No. You're critical. Yes. And if something happens to you? She nodded. My entire civilization collapses. Silence filled the ship. I stared at her. You're serious. I don't joke about extinction. I ran a hand through my hair. So, I didn't just rescue someone. No. You pulled the core of a species out of a dying ship in a dead zone. Yes. I let out a long breath. Of course I did. 11. The chase begins. That's when the sensors lit up. Multiple ships entering range, the AI announced. Lyra didn't even look surprised. They found us. Who? My enemies. I stood up. How many? Enough. I looked at the screen. 5 ships. Closing fast. This is bad, I muttered. Yes, she said calmly. They want me dead. 12. Running isn't enough. I pushed the engines hard, but the dead zone slowed everything. The ships gained on us quickly. Why were you out there? I asked. Because they tried to kill me. Clearly. They almost succeeded. Clearly. She looked at me. You shouldn't have come. I laughed. Yeah, I'm starting to realize that. 13. The decision. The ships closed in. Weapons charging. Escape wasn't working. Fighting wasn't an option, which left one choice. Can you do anything? I asked. She hesitated. Yes. Then do it. It will expose me. They already know you're here. She met my gaze. Not like this. I didn't care anymore. We're out of time. A pause. Then she nodded. Very well. 14, who she really was. The lights flickered. The air shifted. And suddenly, she changed. Not physically, but something around her expanded. The ship trembled. Energy surged through the systems. Her eyes burned with silver light. The space outside warped. The attacking ship slowed, then stopped. Frozen, as if time itself had paused. I stared at her. What are you? She looked at me, and for the first time, there was no softness, only truth. I am the reason my people exist. 15. Aftermath. The ships didn't move again, didn't fire, didn't follow. They simply drifted, disabled, broken. I sat in silence, trying to process what I had just seen. You could have done that the whole time? I asked. Yes. Then why didn't you? Because I didn't want you to see. Too late for that. She nodded. Yes. 16. The final choice. We exited the dead zone hours later. Her people were waiting. An entire fleet. Massive. Silent. Powerful. This is where I leave, she said. I nodded. Yeah. She paused. You saved more than just me. I know. She stepped closer. And I won't forget that. I smiled slightly. Seems like a pattern with your kind. Perhaps. Then she said something unexpected. You could come with me. I blinked. Tempting. But I think I've done enough galaxy changing for 1 week. She almost laughed. 17. The truth that remained. As her ship pulled away, I sat alone in mine, staring at the stars, thinking about everything that had happened. I went into the dead zone expecting to find nothing. Instead, I found her and discovered something far bigger than I ever imagined. Because sometimes, saving someone isn't just about saving a life. Sometimes, it's about discovering who they really are and realizing the universe is a lot bigger and stranger than you ever believed.